So before going to the chapter, let us see some new words of the chapter, and you have to know the meanings of that. Okay. So let us see the new vocabulary, beta. Key vocabulary here. There are some words which we come across in this chapter. The first one is well. What is the first one you have? Well. What is the meaning of well? Move or cause to move rapidly round and round. How will move? Round and round. Okay. Whenever this Jack and Annie, they were reading some rhymes, they used to will, no? Don't write now. You should not write. Just listen. I will share these meanings through MCB, then you can copy, okay? Well, next one is frantic. Do you remember this word frantic, children? In grade 1, we have a frantic boy. Do you remember? Fakru, frantic boy. Yes? What is the meaning of frantic? Distraught with fear. Lots of fear. They are very much tensed, always feeling tensed. Okay, stoop. Bends one's head or body forward or downwards and downwards. Rabies. Viral disease of dogs and other mammals. Viral disease we get from dogs. Battle. What is the battle? A fight between large organized armed forces. Here we are going to discuss about the battle between the scientist and the germs. Okay? Crazy. Extremely enthusiastic. Very much eager to know something. Okay? Trims. Victory. Achievement. So, something we get achievement, no? So that is called a trims. Clatter. A continuous rattling sound. Tuck, tuck, tuck. When we are moving or when we are riding a bicycle or bike on the road, we can hear some sounds due to these stones. Okay, rattle, that sound is called a rattling sound. Now squeak, a short high pitched sound or cry. High pitched sound. Okay, or cry. Wobbly, tending to move unsteadily from side to side, from one side to another side. If we move, that is called a wobbly. So now let us see page number 50 of your text. Night of the New Magician. Jack and Annie whirled. Whirled means rapidly moving round and round. Yes, just now I told you, no, moving round and round. Jack and Annie whirled around. A dark figure was standing at the side door of the institute. The sorcerer, Jack thought. One dark figure, one person who is very dark, he was standing side at the side of the door of the institution. What did Jack, what Jack was thinking? He was a sorcerer, but he frantically tried to remember his lines of the rhyme. He thought that he was a sorcerer and he felt so tensed and started reading the, trying to read the lines of the rhymes. Can I help you? The figure said. Suddenly that person, he came near to the Jack and he said, can I help you? He stepped forward into the light of a gas lamp. He was an old man with stooped shoulders. His hair was white and he had a friendly smile. Is he a sorcerer? No, he was not a sorcerer. He just came forward. He took a step forward to Jack and he was asking, can I help you? Then Annie asked her, hi, Who are you? Asked Annie. I am the night watchman. Who was the dark figure standing at the door? He was a watchman. Night watchman, the man said. The institute is closed for the night. What did that watchman say? He said that the institution is closed. Have you been bitten by a dog? Have you come for a rabies treatment? What did the watchman is asking? He is asking, what did the watchman ask, beta? He asked to the Jack and Annie, what's your problem? Have you been bitten by a dog? Did a dog bite you? Any dog bit you? Or are you suffering from rabies? Rabies means what? A disease which we get from dogs. I told you, no? So, said Annie, what did Annie reply then? Annie said, no, we are fine. Is that what you do here? Asked Jack. You treat people for rabies? Then Jack asked, he got a doubt. This institute is for treating people from rabies? Yes, not I, of course, but Dr. Pasteur. He treats other diseases as well. Who treats this disease of rabies there in the institute? Tell me, who was the person? Dr. Pasteur. Dr. Pasteur. You can see here, when a dog bites, see, rabies is usually transmitted through a rabid animal's saliva. When the saliva you can see here. Yes, saliva by a bite, scratch or licking of damaged skin or mucosa. You can see here the saliva, the dog, you can see some. It is very dangerous. And this is the germs called rabies. You can see germs. The next, due to this dog, we'll get these germs. This disease is called rabies. And it's very dangerous. We should stay away of this dreadful disease. Okay? Who is treating there? Who is looking after this disease in that institution? Yes, Dr. Pasteur, Louis Pasteur. He is a great scientist. He is, I'll show you the picture. See, Dr. Pasteur. What does he do? What does he do? He works on germs, invisible enemies. The enemies, what are enemies here? Germs. We cannot see these germs, but they are very dangerous. Now even coronavirus is also a type of germs, no beta, very dangerous. We are staying at home because of that, and scientists are working on it to make a vaccine. So he is also the Dr. Louis Pasteur. He also a scientist who worked on so many diseases. Now let us continue. He is, who is he? He is the world's famous medical researcher. He is a famous researcher. He researched, what does he research? He research microbes, small germs. He'll work on it. He will work on it. Germs. Okay. Microbes are invisible to the eye, said the old man. Can we see these germs? Can you see these germs anywhere? No, we cannot see, but they are very dangerous. So the old man also said to Jack and Annie that they cannot see these germs. Some germs are useful and necessary, but others cause great harm. Dr. Pasteur battles the deadly ones with research and vaccines and new medicines. What does these scientists they will do? They will work on this germs. They will find out what type of germs are these, and they will prepare the vaccines and medicines against these germs. Okay. Annie gasped. He battled deadly enemies no one can see. She said, he is the magician of the invisible. Now, what is he? He is the magician of invisible. Jack said, turn the page number 52. Page number 52. See? Yes, said Jack. The old man smiled. I suppose you could say that, he said. Dr. Pasteur has certainly helped a lot of people. We have to find him, said Annie. Do you know where he is now? Annie asked to the old man. Mr. Oldman, can you please tell me where is Dr. Pasteur now? Then what did he reply? See, unfortunately, you have just missed him, said the night watchman. Earlier, a messenger left an invitation for him. Oh my God, the sorcerer has come here. He left an invitation for Dr. Pasteur and he unfortunately left the place. And Jack and Annie missed him again. A strange man in a black cloak, said Annie. Then Annie was inquiring. She asked a question to old man that is he a person in a black cloak? Then the watchman asked, you know him? Then Jack said, not really, but we think we know who is he. What did he in what did the invitation say? Then the old man said, I do not know. But when Dr. Pasteur read it, he left immediately. He said he had to go to the Eiffel Tower by 10 p.m. By what time he has to reach the Eiffel Tower? He has to reach the Eiffel Tower by 10 p.m. The old man pulled out the pocket watch. It is about 25 minutes until 10. How much time is there still they have? How much time they have still? 25 minutes more they have. Yes, 25 to 10. Yikes, we could better get going, said Annie. Thanks for your help, Jack said to the night watchman. You are welcome, the old man said. Then he stepped back inside the institute and closed the door. Hurry, said Annie. She and Jack ran down the steps to the street. Dr. Louis Pasteur, said Jack. I have heard of him too. This is crazy. None of these guys are really magicians. They are all famous for doing great things in science and stuff. Till now, they have met 3 magicians, right? They have met all the 3 magicians. And they are not the magicians. Actually, they are the scientists. Great things in science and stuff. They are very famous for their science inventions, right? I wonder who the 4th magician. Annie asked. To Jack, they both are asking. I wonder who the 4th magician is. Who said this sentence? Annie said. To whom? To Jack. The magician of iron who bends the metal of earth and trims over the wind. Trims. What is the meaning of trims? Just now we have discussed a great victory or achievement over the wind. Yes? Trims over the wind. Is he a magician or a scientist or what? Then Jack said, I don't know. But we have to get to that tower fast. We have to find the magicians and learn their secrets before the sorcerer finds them. What they are planning to do now, before 10 o'clock, they have to go to the tower and they have to get the secrets of those magicians before the sorcerer. Jack and Annie looked up and down. See the page, take out the page number 56. There is a picture you can see there. This is really nice of you, said Annie. Sorry, wait. Oh. Take the page number 54, beta. Down and lamp-lit street, a man was pushing a cart over the cobblestone. A couple on a two-seater bicycle rode by and disappeared. They came out to the street. On the street, they saw for the vehicles. They couldn't see any vehicle there. Nothing is there, but they saw one couple. One couple on a two-seater bicycle. And suddenly they disappeared. Then a horse and carriage clattered up the street. Horse carriage, buggy. In the previous lesson, we have discussed, horse carriage. Yes. So they saw that. Taxi, yelled Jack. Then Jack called for a taxi. But the horse and the carriage kept going. They didn't stop there. The street was empty except for Jack and Annie. Let's start walking, said Jack. Look, said Annie. The couple can, the couple on the two-seater bicycle rattled back down the road. They stopped near a yellow street lamp. So you can see the double-seater bicycle. See? Double-seater, two-seaters and double pedals. You can see there. Yes? They got this cycle, this bicycle. Isn't it good? How is the cycle? How is that bicycle? It's very nice, no? You want this type of bicycle? Yes. Vishnu? Yes. Okay. So now, we heard you call for help. Do you need assistance? The man asked in a gruff voice. The couple, a man and woman, both, they came near to Jack and Annie and they were asking, we heard your voice just for the, you were asking for the help. So you need any assistance? Assistance means you need any guidance or help from us? Then the riders were an old-looking couple, odd-looking couple. The man was short. He wore a tall black hat and had a bushy beard and a long mustache. Very long mustache, big, and a beard here. He is a short with a tall black hat. The woman was also short. She wore a hat with a veil that hid most of her face. Do you know, beta? A hat is having a small cloth which covers the face of a woman. Okay, so she was covering her face with a veil, and we need to know the quickest way to the Eiffel Tower, said Annie. We have to get there by 10. It's an emergency. Then an emergency? Oh dear. The woman in a high, squeaky voice. In a very high, squeaky. Squeak means what? Sharp, high pitch voice. An emergency. Oh, so the man cleared his throat and spoke in his low, gruff voice. It would take quite a long time to walk to the Eiffel Tower from here. He said, perhaps you should take our bicycle. What the old man said? If you walk, you cannot reach on time. So take my bicycle and start your journey. Jack said, really? Of course, said the man. If it's truly an emergency. It's an emergency, all right, said Annie. But how can we get your bike back to you? Then Annie said, okay, we will take your bike. But how can we return it again? Where we have to give you back? Then he said, just leave. The old man said, just leave it for us under the arch at the bottom of the tower. We can pay you for letting us borrow it, said Annie. She pulled some coins out of her pocket and held them out to the couple. You can have them all. Then Annie took some took out some coins and gave to the old man. Then what did old man say? Did he take that money? Did he take the coins? Then you see, no, please, we are happy to help. They didn't take. What did he say? He said that he is very happy to help Jack and Annie. Climbed off their bicycle. You can see the next picture, 56 page number. This is really nice of you, said Annie. Good luck. The woman squeaked. Then she and the man started walking away. You were our good luck, shouted Annie. What did Annie say for the old man and woman? She said, you are our good luck. Then the two people, the old man and woman said, thanks. Yes, thanks a lot. Even Jack shouted. You can see in the picture, beta, page number 56 and 57, you can see Jack and Annie, yes, near the two-seater bicycle, and the old man and woman, they were there, and they were walking, they were going, and Jack and Annie were ready to ride the bicycle. The man, you now take page number 58. Take the page number 58. Yes, thanks a lot, shouted Jack. The man turned back. You had better hurry, he called over his shoulders. If you want to be there by 10, you will have to spin like a whirlwind. Then he and the woman rounded the corner and were gone. He just given a hint. He just reminded them about the magic rhyme. Yes? If they go on pedaling the cycle, they cannot reach the tower on time. They have to, well, like a whirlwind. They have to spin like a whirlwind. Then what did he say, Annie? See the next paragraph. I love this bike, said Annie. She climbed onto the front seat and Jack climbed onto the one in back. Ready? Yes, yes. Ready. They are ready to go now. Go easy till we get the hang of it, said Jack. Jack and Annie started pedaling. At first, the large bike was very wobbly. Wobbly means moving side by side. They are unable to, yes, handle it. It is moving side by side and they almost fell over. We have to pedal at the same speed, said Jack. Jack and Annie balanced themselves on the bike and tried to pedal together. Now, with a great plan, they started pedaling together. Jack and Annie balanced themselves on the bike and tried to pedal together. The bike bumped over the cobblestones a little more smoothly. I think I have got the hang of it now, said Annie. Me too, said Jack. Now it is very hard. They are unable to move it. Me too, said Jack. It isn't that different from riding a regular bike. Which way do we go, said Annie. We have to find that busy street with the caves, said Jack. Which way they have to go? They have to move to the busiest street. They have to move to the busiest street. They rode the bike to the corner and looked right and left. That way, said Annie. She pointed to the right, where there was a busy block with lots of restaurants and people strolling about. Now, Annie found a busiest street with lots of gaslit restaurants and people strolling about. Okay, go, said Jack. Annie turned the front handlebar and she and Jack pedaled down the bumpy street. Annie steered them carefully around couples walking arm in arm. People at outdoor caves waved at them as they rode by. But the street grew more deserted and Jack and Annie kept riding. By the time they came to the end, there was no one around. They pushed back on their pedals and brought their bike to a shaky stop. They were continuously, beta, they were moving and they saw the people, yes, holding their arms, walking arm in arm, and some of the people they waved their hands when they were riding. Which way now? Again they stopped at one place and they were asking to each other, which way now we have to go. Jack looked to the right and left. Both ways were dimly lit with closed shops and dark houses. How was the street now? It was completely, yes, very dim, and all the shops were closed and they can see only the dark houses. Jack didn't recognize anything. Jack was unable to recognize. I don't know, he said. I wasn't paying attention during the carriage ride. Me either, and Annie, said Annie. They forgot the place. They were unable to recognize the place where they have to go. Jack could see the Eiffel Tower rising into the sky behind other buildings. It didn't look that far away, but he had no idea how to get there. Let's try going left, he said. Jack and Annie turned left and rattled over the cobblestones, yes, until they came to an empty square at the end of the street. It's a dead end, said Jack. We have to go back. They took a left turn. They were riding their bicycle, pedaling, and they came to the dead end. What is the meaning of dead end? The place after that, end of the place. After that, you cannot find any way. You cannot find any way from there. It is an end of the way. That is called a dead end. Now we have to go back, said Annie. Hurry, Jack and Annie turned the bike around and sped back up to the street. They pedaled until they came to another dead end. Oh no, said Jack. Where's that busy street with all the caves? We are unable. Now Jack and Annie, they were intensed. They are unable to find the busy street. They got another dead end. We must have missed it somehow, said Annie. We are completely lost and it's almost 10 o'clock. Oh, it's almost 10 o'clock and they are unable to find the way. This is so annoying, said Jack. The tower is right there. He pointed to the Eiffel Tower looming over Paris. It's really not that far away. We just don't know how to get there. Wait a minute, said Annie. That guy said that to get there by 10, we would have to spin like a whirlwind. I know, but where? Lost, said Jack. We don't know which way to go. It doesn't matter, said Annie. We have to spin into the air. That's one of our magic rhymes. We have to spin our bike into the air. Now they remembered the words said by the old man. What did the old man say to them while he's giving a bicycle? He said that if you want to reach Eiffel Tower on time, you have to spin like a whirlwind, spin into the air. Now they have remembered those words, and Annie said, we have to spin, we have to use a magic rhyme to spin into the air. Now they'll read the rhyme